It appears the Democrats have not learned a single lesson from their electoral defeat this past week. Instead of trying to figure out what went wrong, instead of trying to course correct as they move forward, they are instead doubling down on their woke rhetoric and lecturing the rest of us about what vocabulary we can and can't use. Take a look at this CNN panel, which exploded over a quote, trans slur when someone was just using everyday words that the rest of us use.
There are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls' softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't think you're not, just to be clear, you are not being
but
targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and
I'm not calling you
bloviate.
transphobic. I'm saying you're using a phrase that you know.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not
which is why
regular
those
people.
ads were
That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and we're
case,
using
but
that
my point in
to
terms
take
of
away
its
healthcare from
effectiveness.
thousands of people.
Hold on, just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls' sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country. We're talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association.
This is not about the
Guys, just
This is about
The conversation they're having isn't even based in reality. The Democrat clearly hasn't learned the lesson. Now, look, I know I can't speak for all Trump supporters, but from my point of view, from my lived experience, I don't think that there's this nationwide crisis of trans hate or transphobia. I think most people, the vast majority of people on both sides of the aisle, are live and let live. Freedom and liberty. As long as you are a grown, consenting adult, you can do what you want. However, don't push your ideology on me. Don't push your ideology on my children, and don't try to police our language and try to deny common sense. Because let's talk about the issues. There is a difference here. There's a reason we have men's sports and women's sports. And it's not to discriminate between men and women, but it's because there is a difference. And you know what? You can be different and equal. I mean, that's the whole reason we separated the two genders in the first place as far as sports go. Is for the safety of all participants on both sides. So why would you even try to pretend that a trans athlete wouldn't face those same physical issues in regards to their safety and other players' safety? But instead of wanting to have this conversation, the Democrats, as indicated by that Democrat strategist, don't even want to have a real-world conversation. Instead, they want to police your language. They want to double down on division. And by the way, can I just say, for all the stereotypes and the stigma that Republicans get for being hateful and bigoted and not accepting, can I just point out Scott Presler? Scott, this man right here, screen right, the one with the long hair. Republicans have embraced him with an open arm. He is almost, don't get me wrong, I know Trump worked really hard in Pennsylvania. He worked so hard to win Pennsylvania. He campaigned there day and night. But I would argue, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments. But I would argue that Scott Presler is equally important to Trump winning Pennsylvania as Trump himself. I would say Scott Presler has probably had more of an impact than Elon Musk. I mean, that man single-handedly got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of new Republican registrations in the state. He worked his butt off for over a year. Do you see Republicans shunning him? Do you see Republicans making fun of his sexuality or how he talks or his hair or his looks? No. The only slurs I've seen against him have come from the left. So, the left still wants to play this game of division. The left still, they want to mischaracterize the arguments that the right is using. And to me, that's really disgraceful and it's dishonest. And for those of you who watch the channel, I can't stand dishonesty. Now, one of my favorite segments, actually, was Van Jones doing a diagnostic of why they lost the race. And I think he actually made a lot of really good points in this next segment.
The Kamala Harris campaign wound up spending a bunch of money on TV ads. And the TV ads sucked. They did not appeal to anyone, but it was dial tested, and it was all supposed to, the data dummies were up there telling us these are great ads, but nobody liked the ads. So people are now saying America is this racist, sexist, fascistic country because of this outcome. Listen, we've always had some racist, sexist, fascist people in the country. That's not what happened. What happened is you had some key parts of this coalition, especially black men, who were not handled properly. I can tell you right now, what was the agenda for immigrants? Comprehensive immigration reform. What's the agenda for women? Abortion. What's the agenda for transgender people? Dignity and respect. What was the agenda for black men? You still can't tell me. And that was a problem on our side. And when somebody walks away from you, you can blame them, you can blame yourself. The Democratic Party now needs to start listening. Black men have good ideas. Black men have given the majority of our vote to this party, but we deserve more respect than we got. And when you don't give people respect, they don't stick around.
Well, and that's absolutely true. A lot has been said about Trump winning more minority voters than any Republican. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump also won a historic share of the gay LGBTQ plus community vote. I really wouldn't. Now, what's been funny these last few days after Trump's win are all the memes, all the leftist breakdowns. I thought this was actually the funniest meme. The Disney original and then the Disney remake and that woman screaming in her car, just flipping out. Now, I never thought I would get into heavy metal or enjoy heavy metal, but someone on TikTok actually remixed her scream, and it is actually quite a heavy metal banger, and I actually rewatched this like 10 times on my phone.
I'm sorry! No! Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
Yeah. I mean, if there are any newborn heavy metal fans after watching that, let me know down in the comments below. Now, it's not just the screaming. As I mentioned a few videos ago, women are now shaving their heads, cutting their hair off, wearing bracelets to make themselves known to other women that they are a safe space. Well, there is this influencer who is going viral based on her reaction to all of this, and it'll really make your day. I think she's just as funny as these meltdowns.
Somebody please tell me why y'all are out here shaving your heads. All because Kamala didn't win. Please tell me what the fuck is that going to do? See somebody say, they not dating men no more. They not having kids until they get married. Ain't that what we supposed to do? Then you got out here in their car screaming, spit every way. Do y'all not think y'all are being a tad bit fucking dramatic? Just didn't know this is how people react. I understand being upset, but damn, cutting your hair out? What the fuck is that going to solve? I'm not knocking nobody for being upset. They have the right to. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't display it that way on the internet. Just maybe. And see, y'all already know they don't want a female president because they think that we get overly emotional. You kind of proving them right. Stop it!
I mean, I really don't think sexism had anything to do with it. I think it was just because she was uniquely unqualified, a uniquely terrible candidate. I would proudly vote for what woman. I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Woo, please, Sarah Huckabee. Please, please, please. I would, man, if she ever announces her run in a primary, I'm just warning you now, this channel may be all on board, assuming she doesn't change anything about who she is or what she stands for. Now, she talked about people having their meltdowns, posting it on the internet. Well, that is still going on, and this next clip actually proves that Trump is already going to improve the economy. Specifically, Trump will actually improve digital, like, I have my television right here. This is why my hand's over here. Like, electronic sales. Expect electronic sales to go through the roof next month and next quarter, and here's why.
Do it. Do it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. That Can TV I take and it? That asshole. Do it. I'll buy it.
Okay, maybe not that fucking hard.
Okay,
Well,
Like I said, he is already helping the economy. Electronic sales are going to go through the roof. Last but not least in today's video, I want to talk about the Hollywood resistance that is already beginning to build up. We've had Rachel Maddow insist or suggest that the election was fishy. We've had Alan Lichtman throw out there, but not endorse, but throw out there that the election was suspect and that, you know, something isn't right with the votes. Well, the Hollywood resistance is now teaming up together. They're assembling like the Avengers, and they're having a public meltdown of their own.
To stand up for justice!
To stand up for justice!
To stand up for America!
To stand up for America!
Trump is not a legitimate president!
Trump is not a legitimate president!
Trump is not America!
Trump is not America!
We love America!
We love America! That's it! We love you!
Yeah, really weird, really strange, really demure. Well, as always, all of this is just my opinion, my analysis, my commentary. That's what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So what do you think about that CNN clip? What do you think about both the commentators and the strategists who were talking about boys playing in girls sports? Do you agree with the Republican strategist saying that, hey, let's focus on the issue, let's focus on the solution? Or do you agree with the Democrats saying, that's a slur, we shouldn't be using that language? What's your idea for a solution as far as that issue goes? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me in the algorithm to reach more viewers like you. If and when I reach 100,000 subscribers, I will reveal my sweet pup's name as well as my cat, who is playing currently in the other room. If you hear the scratch post, that's him. Reveal their names, the stories. Once I reach 95,000, I will start dropping clues. We'll have a guessing game, and whoever guesses their name correctly. I've been searching all different names. As for those of you who are longtime watchers of the channel, you know now it's actually hard to read all the comments, but before I made it a point to read every single comment. I'd say now I do read the vast majority of them, but there are so many that sometimes it's just not physically possible. I mean, and I'm not complaining. Keep it up, because but if I don't respond, if I don't cover a video topic request, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to get to things as I can. But I do want y'all to know, especially those who have been really consistent with commenting, messaging. I see your thoughts, I see your feedback, and I appreciate all of that. And I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. It's a lot now, and I'm happy and I'm excited, and I hope you're excited. But I just wanted to say that because I hope no one takes it personally, especially for those of you who have been with the channel since the very beginning. Like early on, like when I was fewer than 20,000 subscribers, it was actually possible to physically respond to every single comment that comes in. And there are a few days where I feel guilty that I can't do that anymore. But I feel like if I read the comments, get a sense of what people are thinking or topics y'all want me to cover, it helps me stay in touch with what y'all want and how I can better serve you and the greater YouTube community. So with all of that being said, be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.